It's now time for us to move on with our program. We're going to call up a very important brother to this fellowship. His name is Fellow Harold Reed Jr. He was born and raised in East Orange, New Jersey. So he comes from New Jersey. He is a United States Air Force Desert Storm veteran and retired police officer. He is a dedicated husband and father of 2 boys. He began his own business and career as a professional speaker after convincing his wife to start her own photography business. A true entrepreneur. In addition to his career as a speaker, Harold is a certified professional life coach and a published author of 2 motivational self-help books. Harold became a fellowman of Groove 5 Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated in 1992. He is a past North Atlantic Regional Director, charter member, and a past chapter president of the Central New Jersey Graduate Chapter. Please give a warm welcome to Fellowman Harold Reed.
Young men, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How you doing today?
Good.
I can't hear you. How are you doing today?
Good.
Outstanding. Listen, a lot of stuff that was said in my introduction, I'm actually going to repeat in this. I'm here to talk to you today about being an entrepreneur. Who can tell me what an entrepreneur is? Stand up. Stand up. State your name. I'm sorry. Okay. What is an entrepreneur?
A business owner.
Very good. Who else can tell me what they think an entrepreneur is? No one? Don't worry about it. That's okay. My job is to kind of give you an insight on what it is to be an entrepreneur. So, let's take a look at some things. An entrepreneur is a visionary. He has to see the impossible in order to make it possible. In other words, you have to have a dream. You have to have something that you want to do. Other people might not be able to see it, but it's something that you believe you can do and make a business out of. You have to be able to see that vision. An entrepreneur is a risk taker. He has to be able to put it all on the line because the greater the risk, the greater the reward. With risk, there's a chance that you might lose. A lot of people have lost millions of dollars before they were able to make billions of dollars. Anybody ever heard of a man named Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, he's got a hotel casino over there a couple blocks away. Okay, he was once worth several $billion. Lost it all. $90 million in debt. He was driving down the street with his daughter one day, saw a homeless man, and said, that man has more money than me because I need $90 million in order to have what he has. Okay? So there's a chance you can lose, but you have to, an entrepreneur takes that chance in order to reap the rewards that come with taking that chance. An entrepreneur is a harder worker. See, hard work isn't enough. The entrepreneur works harder and longer than everyone else. And the entrepreneur is the owner of his own time. The entrepreneur punches his own clock. I wake up when I want to wake up. I go to sleep when I want to go to sleep. Now, when people hear that, they normally think I'm saying I can wake up late and I can stay up late. No. The entrepreneur is going to be the one who wakes up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Go to the gym, get a workout, do some meditation, do some prayer, do some writing, do some reading. All before possibly even having to go to a real job. In a few minutes, I'm going to talk about the differences between an employee and an entrepreneur, because sometimes you may have your own business that you want to start, but you got to keep a day job to keep those bills getting paid. You understand? You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you don't understand, just say, I don't understand, and I'll explain it to you. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to let the little mildness of your voice, I'm going to let that slide this time. But y'all know how y'all supposed to answer, correct?
Sir, yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. So, like I said, well, you know, before I get into those differences, again, let me tell you a little bit more about myself. I started my career with the East Orange Police Department. I was there from 2000 to 2002. Then I moved to the Woodbridge Police Department. I was there from 2002 until I retired 3 years ago, right? And as was said in my introduction, this woman right here is my wife. Yes, I'm a very lucky, happy man, okay? And I was able to convince her to start her own business. And the funny thing was, I was reading a book, and the name of this book, you guys want to write this down. Pay attention, write this down. The title of this book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I see. Talk to your parents, see if they, and actually, you know what, in addition to that, write for kids, because there's a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Kids. The author of the book wrote, you know, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book basically for adults, but then he wanted parents to have something to give their kids to teach them something about being entrepreneurs and starting their own businesses. So the funny thing was, when I read that book, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had been a cop for 5 years at that time, and being a cop professionally at that time was all I knew. I had no idea what kind of business I was going to have for myself. But I was sharing what I was learning with my wife, and I convinced her to turn her hobby of taking pictures into an actual business. And because it really happened and she's doing well now, I don't think she'll mind me telling, because it's part of our story, both of us being entrepreneurs. She started her business in 2006. She got laid off from her job in 2007. She's been doing this ever since. Last year, she opened up her own studio in Rahway. So she went from taking pictures out of the house and going to people's houses to actually having a place of her own. She worked harder. She took risks. She had a vision. All those things I said to you earlier, these are things that got her to start her own business with my encouragement. And because I realized if I can make this woman actually listen to me and produce results, I can pretty much talk to anybody and hopefully get anybody to produce results. And as a result of that, I started my own business, HRJR Enterprises. The HRJR stands for Harold Reed Jr. Some people actually don't figure that out, okay? And basically what I do, well, I'll get into what I do later because it's a part of the dialogue later. But again, one of the things I do, as you see, is I'm a speaker. What I want to talk to you about next, the difference between being an employee and an entrepreneur. The picture on the right, on the left, that's me as an employee. Picture right here, that handsome devil, that's me as an entrepreneur. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the differences between the employee and the entrepreneur. First off, with an employee, your job is your primary source of income. When you go to work and you punch that clock, that's all you do, that's where your money comes from. The entrepreneur can create multiple streams of income. You can have money coming from a whole bunch of different places. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. With the employee, the income is determined by someone else. Therefore, your value is determined by someone else. You go to a job and you fill out a job application. If you get that job, they tell you how much they're going to pay you. As an entrepreneur, you determine your own value, and thus you determine your own income. You create a product or a service, you put your own price tag on it, and when people see the value in that, they will pay your price. That's how my wife got started in her business. She took pictures at somebody's wedding, and they already had a photographer. But when they got the money back, when they got the pictures back from the photographer that they paid for, they hated those pictures. Somebody else told them, hey, this young lady was also taking pictures there, see if she has any. They saw her pictures, they fell in love with them. They asked her how much. She came to me, she said, how much should I charge her? I said, how much is your time worth? How long did it take you to edit and put those pictures together to show you? She said, oh, total about 8 to 10 hours. I said, take 1 hour, put a dollar amount on it, multiply it by 8 times 10, or 8 or 10. And that's how much you feel your time is worth. She did that. She gave those people a price. They paid it. That's what got her started on her own business. She determined her own income. She determined her own value. When I go places to speak and people have me come speak, they don't tell me what they're going to pay me. I tell them what I want to get paid. They either go with it or they don't. Oh, let me go back a step. As an employee, your income is taxed before you even see it. You guys don't know this yet, but when you get a job, you get your paycheck, there's a little friend that you're going to meet called FICA. FICA is really not your friend. The F in FICA don't stand for friend, okay? And FICA is a friend of the government. The government gets your money before you do. When you get your check in your hand, your money is already gone, or at least a portion of it is already gone. As an entrepreneur, because you're selling your product or your service directly right then and there, guess what? You get all the money up front. You get to pay your bills. You get to handle your expenses. You get to have a little fun. You get to buy some food. I believe one of the groups that was over here, you were talking about budgeting for groceries and stuff, right? And paying your bills, right? Correct?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right? So as an entrepreneur, you get your money up front, and after you've handled all your business, you go to your accountant and you pay taxes on what you have left over. Lastly, an employee can be fired. You can come to work one day and they can say, we don't need you anymore. You could make a mistake that could cost the company $2 or $2 million, and they can say, we're going to have to let you go. Entrepreneur can't be fired, and true entrepreneurs don't quit. They keep it going. So as I said, I'm going to talk to you about the differences between being an employee and an entrepreneur, and I'm going to use myself as an example. As I said before, when you saw the pictures, you saw me as a police officer, and you saw me as an entrepreneur with my company, HRJR Enterprises. As a police officer, I have my paycheck. Every 2 weeks, without fail, direct deposit, money in the bank. I'm retired now, so every month, without fail, direct deposit, money in the bank. I really don't have to have my own business. My pension is nice, but guess what? I have a mission. I have things I want to do. I want to help people. I do this on my own, but I also do it here as a fellow in the Group 5 Group Social Fellowship Incorporated. I do what I do in the real world to get paid to further feed my family and take care of my 2 sons. I do this here for the love of it. Because what I'm doing today, I am not getting paid for in money. What I'm getting paid for being here today is being able to hopefully pray that someday you guys will walk out into the world and remember something that was said here to you today, either by me, by Brother Bellinger that was speaking before, the other brothers that were speaking to you in your groups. This isn't about money. This is about helping you. Okay? But again, as an employee, I have my paycheck and I also have my pension. However, as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurs basically create 1 or 2 things or both. Products and services. Now, I'm not going to focus on the employee side anymore because right now what I do with my life is an entrepreneur. I have products and services. I wrote 2 books and I also produced a motivational CD. Okay? Remember before, one of the things I said, entrepreneurs have the ability to create multiple streams of income? You remember when I said that?
Yes, sir.
This is how I make money. I sell both of those books. I sell them in print, I sell them in audio, I sell them online. I sell them out of the trunk of my car. I sell them sometimes at live engagements. Some places I go to speak, there'll be a table in the back full of books. After I speak, people go in the back and they buy books. I make money. Then there's also passive sales. Passive means I don't get that money right like directly when it goes down, but if somebody goes on the internet, if they go to my website, if they go to iTunes, they go to Google+, they go to Amazon.com, they go to BarnesandNoble.com, they buy one of my books, the company sends me money. I don't even have to wait, I don't even have to get out of bed for that. This can happen for anyone in this room. Anyone is capable of doing what I'm doing, and it doesn't have to be what this is. I'm just showing you what I do, okay? But the concept of being an entrepreneur is you can create multiple streams of income. This is just 7 ways under one item, under one particular island, that I create income for myself and my family. The other side are the services. As you can see by me standing here, I'm a motivational speaker. And as Brother Bella just said earlier, I really don't like using the term motivational speaker myself, because anybody who thinks they have a positive attitude can stand and wants to have something to say or get up and call themselves a motivational speaker. But trust me when I tell you, it takes a lot to be able to come up and stand in front of a group of people you've never seen before and actually have something to say to make them walk out and want to change their lives or improve their lives for the better. Me personally, I consider myself a motivational speaker. I'm a motivational speaker because I believe motive gives you reason. If you apply action to it, you can produce results. So I call myself a motivational speaker because motive plus action equals results, and results equals success. As a motivational or motivational speaker, I make decent money. True to God's story, true to God, I'll tell you a quick story. I did a speech where I made $100 a minute. $100 a minute. Why? Because normally I'll charge anywhere between $500 to $2,500 for an engagement, depending on how long I got to speak, where I got to go, and if I got to travel somewhere, they got to pay for it. They got to put me up in a hotel. I was asked to do a speech at a high school graduation a couple years ago. Normally those speeches are like 20, 30 minutes, kind of like the time that I'm spending talking to you guys right now. But the guy asked me how much would I charge him, and it actually was a friend of one of the brothers, so I said, I'll tell you what, $500. So I'm expecting to speak for 20, 25 minutes, half hour, $500. So he's like, okay, cool, no problem. Only one thing, we only need you to speak for 5 minutes. Now do your math. You only need me to speak for 5 minutes. I told you I'm charging you $500. That's $100 a minute, okay? There's opportunity out there in the world for those who are willing to go get it. You have to have a vision. You have to be a risk taker. You understand what I'm saying? Another service I provide, I'm a personal development life coach. Basically, I help people organize their lives, realize where they are, and help them figure out where they want to go. These are all different areas in which I make money. Now, what I want to do is share with you something that I shared with an audience at a similar function like this that we did. When were we in Stone Mountain? 2011? 2011. Something I shared with a young group of kids, same age as you. Success has no age limit. Now you see me up here in the suit, you see a couple brothers all around in the suit, okay? I want to share with you some things. There are young entrepreneurs out there. Brothers, young brothers, say after me, repeat after me, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, hurry up, stand up. I can't believe you're not standing up yet. Success has no age limit.
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 Have a seat. This is Mosiah Mo Bridges. He is 11 years old. Who in here is 11 years old or younger? Okay. This boy is 11 years old. He has a business called Mo's Bows. handcrafted bow ties. Him and his grandmother actually sit down at the sewing machine and they make bow ties. He started his business at the age of 9. He has been on a whole bunch of news shows. He's been on the Steve Harvey show, and he's been on a show called Shark Tank. Anybody ever heard of a show called Shark Tank?
Yes.
How many watch Shark Tank? See, a lot of money go down on that show, right? He was on Shark Tank. He didn't get any money. But what he did get was an offer for mentorship from Damon John, which is the only black entrepreneur on that show, is now his mentor. But in 2 years, from the age of 9 to the age of 11, just selling bow ties, he made $30,000. 11 years old, between 9 and 11 years old. Success has no age limit. This is Leanna Archer. She's 18 years old. She started a hair care product company called Leanna's All Natural Hair Products. Started her business at the age of 9. She's the youngest person to ever ring the bell on the stock market, at the stock exchange. The youngest person, a sister, no less, okay? Started her business at the age of 9. She's now 18. Her net worth, $5 million. 18 years old, okay? There's another young man, well, he's a little bit older now in comparison to these young people. This gentleman right here that we love and endear much, he's very familiar with this person. His name is Farrah Gray. He's 29 years old. He's also a motivational speaker. He's also a publisher, an author, and he's also a magazine and book publisher. He started his business at the age of 7, selling rocks. He would pick up rocks off the ground, clean them up, clean them off, paint them up, and go door to door to his neighbors, selling them as bookends. He also sold lotions. He would go in the bathroom, see 6, 7 different bottles of lotion, and he would just take them, get some hot water, rub the labels off, peel the labels off, mix up the, am I lying? Mix up the lotions. So they would all have different kind of funky smells, not funky bad, but different kind of unique smells. And he would go door to door and sell those. When he was 11 years old, he created a food company based off of a syrup recipe that his grandmother had. Now, at the age of 14, he sold that food company to a supermarket chain for over $1 million. 14. Success has no age limit. All right? And we talked about this a few minutes ago, the show called Shark Tank. All right? Here's the thing. How many of you have something you want to do in life in terms of having your own business maybe? I know some of you said you wanted to be police officers, some said architects, some said technologists, you want to work in some form of technology. How many of you actually want to have your own business? What do you want your business to be? Stand up, state your name.
I want my business to
What's
be
your name? Take your hands out of your pockets.
Tamir Davis. I want my business to be like him over there, architecture.
You want to be an architect? You want to be your own architect? So you would want to have your own firm.
Yes.
Okay? That's a beautiful thing. Now, say you had a particular way of designing buildings, a particular style, or even maybe you created a particular tool that just made it easier to make measurements or something like that. You would go on this show and you would have, like, see how you guys are sitting right there? For those who haven't seen the show, there's 5 seats, okay? And every person in one of those seats is a millionaire or a billionaire. And you have to convince them to give you some of their money for your business or your product. And they will grill that person. They put the screws to them. Some people have walked out of there crying, and this is on television. But again, what did I say in the beginning? You have to be willing to take a risk. You have to be willing to take a gamble. There have been people who have gone on this show almost one check away from being homeless and walked out of that room millionaires. because they believed in themselves, they believed in their product, and they believed that somebody else would see the value in that. So for those of you who are interested in maybe starting your own business someday, I want to leave you with some last words of advice. Actually, for all of you, I want all of you to keep this in mind. One, as I said before, what? Say it. I can't hear you.
Success has no age limit.
I want you to ask yourselves, what void will you fill? See, entrepreneurs fill a void. They create a product or a service and they improve upon something that already exists, or they fill a space where something that doesn't exist. Okay? You guys have a wonderful life because you know what? You live in a world where there's like remote control and microwave ovens and everything. There was once a time when if you wanted to change the channel on the television and you're sitting over there and the television's over there, you actually had to get up, walk over there, and touch the television and turn. I know you don't believe it, but it's true. It's true. Trust me. Trust me. You guys want popcorn, what do? If you're at home, you want popcorn, you take the bag, put it in the microwave, push the button, 3 minutes later, popcorn, right? Used to be a time when if you wanted popcorn, no, see, that's even advanced. No, there's a time you had to take the kernels, the hard kernels, you know, the ones you don't eat at the bottom of the bag, okay? Imagine a whole bottle full of those. And you had to put them in the pot, pour some oil in the pot, and then turn some heat up on the pot, and then shake the pot. But there was a time that that's what you had to do to get popcorn, okay? But you know what happened? Somebody decided, hey, what if I take these kernels and I put them in an aluminum plate, put a little aluminum handle on it, put aluminum top on it, and we just shake it over the fire right there. Jiffy Pop popcorn. That's right. And then somebody said, what if we just take the popcorn, the kernels, put some little butter sauce on it, put it in a microwave safe bag, so you can just put it in the microwave, push the button, 3 minutes later, popcorn. Somebody invented that. These were entrepreneurs. You ever watch TV and you see somebody, you see the TV shows where they say, okay, call this number now. Call us now. You get 3 for free. You get the garden hose and this, that, and the third. You know, the hanger and the, you know. These are things that were invented by people. $2.99 shipping, handling, those type of commercials. The people who make those things are entrepreneurs, and they make millions. I told you before, little boy made millions off of syrup, made $1 million off a syrup recipe. Young girl made hair care products. She's worth $5 million. Young boy sitting down with his grandmother making bow ties. In 2 years, he made $30,000. Now, the one thing that all 3 of those people had in their lives, they had strong mentors and they had strong elders. You have to have those. Actually, you do have those. That's why you're here today, because you have us. There are brothers here. This brother right here lives in Maryland. This brother right here lives in Maryland. Pitts, where you from?
Virginia, Richmond.
Chavez.
Originally, I'm from Cuba.
And where you live now?
Providence, Rhode Island.
Brother Bellinger, who spoke to you earlier today, he told you he's from Detroit. Jeff.
Detroit.
Jeff.
Maryland.
Monty.
Maryland.
Brother Newell.
Yes, Maryland.
But guess what? You can get any one of these brothers' phone numbers, pick up the phone tomorrow, give them a call, and they'll give you their time.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'm right here in New Jersey. I'm in Woodbridge. You can call any one of us at any given time. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is the void that we fill. Okay? Getting back to topic, as an entrepreneur, you have to ask yourself, what void will you fill? What will you provide or create to make somebody else's life better? That's actually my next point. What product or service can you create or improve upon that will bring value to people's lives? That's how you go about filling a void. And lastly, if you don't get to work on making your dreams come true, Somebody else is going to employ you to make their dreams come true.
That's right.
If you don't know what you want to do with your life, somebody else is going to give you a job helping them because they do. You don't know what you want to do? That's cool. No problem. Come work for me. I know what I want to do. And because of what you do, I'm going to make money. I'll give you some. I'll give you some. So while you have enough to get on that bus, I'm going to be driving my Jag or my Corvette or my Mustang. He likes Mustangs. You know, my Bentley, my Benz, my yacht, my G5 plane, whatever. If you don't know what you want to do with your life, you will work for somebody who does. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. So, with that, I'll leave you with these final words. I want you to stand up so you can hear this more clearly. Because this is generally how I end all my speeches, especially when I'm speaking to young people. Actually, I have something else to say before I actually close. I want to stress to you the value of pursuing your education. Take your hands out of your pockets. I want to stress the value of pursuing your education. When I was a police officer, I did not need a college degree, and I was making over $100,000 a year. But I'm not a police officer anymore. I am solely a speaker and a coach. And I found it very difficult, at the very least, hypocritical. And for those who don't know what being a hypocrite means, it means to say one thing and do another. I found it difficult at the very least and hypocritical at the utmost to want to stand before a group of young people such as yourselves and talk to you about the value of pursuing education and not having completed it myself. So I just had the honor and privilege of sharing with my brothers this past week that I myself just went back to school over the past year and I completed my college degree. Because I can't stand before young men like you and tell you to go to college, go through college, get your degree when I didn't have mine my own self.
That's right.
Now, what I'm saying to you is this. You will hit the college campus somewhere between the ages of 17 and 18 years old. You will be done with college somewhere between the ages of 21, maybe 22, 23 years old. That is the normal cycle. It is difficult. You know what? So what? Do it anyway.
That's right.
I went to college at 18. I left at 18, joined the Air Force, went back to college after I came back from the war. I pledged groove. I discovered, hey, you know what, I want to be a cop. Went and became a cop. Was doing that. Decided I didn't want to be a cop anymore. I'm doing this. Back in school, finishing it at the age of 43. Trust me when I tell you, if you take care of your educational needs sooner, your educational benefits will take care of you later. Do you understand it?
Sir, yes, sir.
Outstanding. Having said that, I will leave you with this. God plus you puts you in the majority. And if you got God behind you, can nobody stand in front of you. Thank you.
Let's please give another round of applause for Felman Reed.